Battlefield 3 is the most recent installment to the Battlefield franchise from DICE. Utilizing the Frostbite 2 engine, Battlefield brings some of the most intense, near-sim combat one could desire. Since then, the core gameplay of Battlefield has yet to change. They began to work on releasing various map packs through a timeline that coincides with the release of the upcoming Battlefield 4. Each map pack was based off of a particular type of gameplay that allows a player to choose what style of play they desire. A lot of people seem to think that this is a new map pack that they need to play, but rather it's more like an offering for a different type of play style than it really is a whole new map pack. The Back to Karkan maps are based primarily off of the single-player story and the look and play style varying from close block-to-block firefights to long and medium-range engagements. The Gulf of Oman typically has two different types of gameplay, but the main theme plays out as an amphibious siege. It's fun when everyone is organized and focuses on the main objectives, whether it's capturing bases or blowing up MCOM stations, but say goodbye to anything even remotely fun or interesting when everyone is focused on scoring the most kills. Strike at Karkan is always intense and fun due to its block-to-block fighting. You throw in a Bradley fighting vehicle, an Abrams tank, and you'll have tons of holy shit moments. The name of the game here is buildings, cover, ambush. You have to get a squad of people. If you get a squad of people who work together, they'll defend an entire block just holed up in one location. Wake Island is odd because, well, it is odd. The map is designed in a giant U shape and requires a very strong push in the beginning. Most of the fighting is done at range, but there still needs to be a few players with short-range weapons since MCOM and flag stations are shrouded in defilade. All vehicles apply to this map, and it's best if players utilize each as best as they can. Most of the Sharkey Peninsula map is buildings, but players will expect to find medium to long-range engagements depending upon what buildings they are in. Tanks are limited but offer a great advantage as long as both the main gunner and secondary gunner are on their game. Apache and Havoc helicopters are also available depending upon what variant this map is played in, and it can get quite intense at random points in various sections of the map. It's very fun, but watch out. If anyone still thinks Call of Duty is worth playing, I think they better take a look at Battlefield 3's Close Quarters. Yes, I am saying this is a little bit of a fanboy, but a fanboy who has played Call of Duty through 3 prestige modes in Modern Warfare 2, World at War, Black Ops, so don't try to sit there and troll on me. Not only do the Close Quarters maps have some of the fastest gameplay offered, but because the environments are destructible, players will be treated to destruction of environments on the most awesome level. Walls will not save you for long, they're just too destructible along with most of the other spaces. That includes glass, that includes some office equipment. Flanking is key, assuming you can find someone amongst the gunfire implosions. There's really not much of a need to go into each map aside from Scrap Metal, which features a multi-level maze and skyway access across 2 different buildings. Much of this map is not destructible because of the industrial theme, but players be warned. Check to make sure your reaction times are at their sharpest, as no corner should ever be trusted. The other maps have different themes, but ultimately have nothing too different to offer since everything is so tightly packed together. Just remember that walls are no one's friends. It's a fun game, the pace is incredibly fast, and I think anyone who has ever wanted to see Call of Duty mixed with Battlefield will thoroughly enjoy this. Armored Kill is one of the most traditional and best map pack releases thus far in my opinion for Battlefield. It offers massive maps with many different choices of vehicles to indulge your just blast-happy demeanor, which is pretty much everyone in the game when you look at it. All maps have long ranges and vehicles that respawn a little faster than most other maps' vehicles. Other vehicles that have been introduced are the rocket artilleries, tank killers, and the AC-130 gunship. Players should know that even if they don't want to use a vehicle, hitching a ride might be the best because it's going to take quite some time to get from point A to point B. The maps are massive, and by the time you get to somewhere, you might already get sniped. Another set of maps based somewhat on single-player story is Aftermath. Aftermath's theme is based off the post-earthquake city filled with rubble, fallen structures, and troops that seem to have been able to survive the massive disaster, only to fight again, which kinda sucks, because you just survived a massive earthquake. Nearly every map has a good balance of short to medium range engagements, if that's your thing, and will always keep you on your toes since foes can approach from multiple avenues via tunnels, blown-out shops, and alleyway trucks. Stick with team members because more than likely you'll be faced with a minimum of 2 to 3 enemies down each path. New vehicles have been added here as well. Franken vehicles such as the Rhino, the Barsook, which I have no idea if I'm actually pronouncing that right, the Phoenix, but don't worry about doing too much damage with these, as they have extremely limited firepower. So think of these more as your crew's drive-by car. Adding tanks presents an interesting dichotomy, since they carry such heavy firepower but are incredibly limited in distance, space, and driving routes. Be aware of these things, but don't think you can't get away if one spots you.